The government had always denied the existence of aliens. They had always claimed that any reports of extraterrestrial life were simply hoaxes or misunderstandings. But the truth was much darker. At the heart of the government's denial was a secret organization made up of the world's top scientists and government officials. They had discovered the truth about aliens, and they were determined to keep it hidden from the public. One of the members of this secret organization was Dr. Sarah Park. Sarah had been recruited straight out of college, and she had quickly risen through the ranks. She had access to the most top-secret information, and she had worked on some of the government's most sensitive projects. But Sarah's loyalty to the organization was about to be tested. She had always believed that what they were doing was for the greater good, but when she stumbled upon a horrifying secret, she realized that the organization was much more sinister than she had ever imagined. It all started when Sarah was assigned to work on a project involving a captured alien. The creature was being kept in a secure facility, and Sarah had been tasked with studying its biology and behavior. At first, Sarah was fascinated by the alien. She spent hours observing it and taking notes, but as time went on, she began to notice something disturbing. The alien was sick. It was weak and emaciated, and it seemed to be in pain. Sarah brought this to the attention of her superiors, but they brushed it off, telling her that the creature was simply adjusting to its new environment. But Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. She decided to take matters into her own hands and conducted some tests of her own. What she discovered was shocking. The government had been experimenting on the alien, subjecting it to cruel and inhumane tests in an attempt to extract information from it. They had been torturing the creature, and it was on the brink of death. Sarah was horrified. She had always believed that the government was acting in the best interests of humanity. But now she realized that they were capable of unspeakable cruelty. She knew that she had to do something to stop them. But she also knew that if she was caught, she would be labeled a traitor and could face severe consequences. Sarah confided in her friend and colleague, Dr. Michael Hernandez. Michael was shocked by what Sarah had told him, but he was also skeptical. He had always been a loyal member of the organization, and he found it hard to believe that they would do something so heinous. But Sarah was persistent, and she convinced Michael to help her. Together, they hatched a plan to free the alien and expose the government's secrets to the world. It wasn't easy. They had to sneak into the facility under the cover of darkness and avoid detection from the guards. But eventually, they made it to the alien's holding cell. Sarah was shocked by what she saw. The creature was barely alive, its skin pale and its eyes dull. She could see the pain and suffering in its expression. She quickly began to release the restraints that held the creature in place, and Michael helped her to carry it to safety. But as they made their escape, they were confronted by a group of government agents. The agents were armed and dangerous, and they had been ordered to stop Sarah and Michael at all costs. A tense standoff ensued, with Sarah and Michael holding the alien between them as a shield. The agents demanded that they hand over the creature, but Sarah refused. "We can't let them hurt it anymore," she said, her voice shaking with fear and anger. The agents didn't listen. They opened fire and chaos erupted. Sarah and Michael dodged the bullets as best they could, but they knew that they were outnumbered and outgunned. Just when all seemed lost, the alien began to glow. Its body shimmered with an otherworldly energy, and a beam of light shot out from its eyes. The agents were thrown back, their weapons ripped from their hands. Sarah and Michael watched in amazement as the alien rose into the air, hovering above them. Then, without warning, the alien spoke. Its voice was deep and resonant, and it echoed through the night. "I am a representative of the Galactic Council," it said. "I have been sent to observe your world and determine whether or not it is worthy of joining our ranks." Sarah and Michael were stunned. They had never heard of the Galactic Council, and they had certainly never expected the alien to speak. But the alien wasn't finished. "Your world has failed the test," it continued. "You have shown yourselves to be a violent and cruel species, unworthy of the gift of the stars." With that, the alien disappeared into the night, leaving Sarah and Michael standing alone in the wreckage of the facility. In the days that followed, the government scrambled to cover up the incident. They claimed that a group of rogue scientists had stolen the alien, and they denied any involvement in the torture and experimentation. But Sarah and Michael knew the truth. They knew that the government was capable of unspeakable horrors, and they knew that they had to do something to stop them. They went to the media, leaking the story to journalists and exposing the government's secrets to the world. The story went viral, and soon everyone knew about the government's horrific actions. But the government wasn't about to let Sarah and Michael get away with it. They were labeled as traitors and hunted down by the same agents who had tried to stop them before. Sarah and Michael went into hiding, moving from place to place and staying one step ahead of the government's grasp. They knew that they were risking everything, but they also knew that they had to fight for what was right. The government came very close to catching them, and Sarah and Michael had to rely on all of their wits and resources to stay alive. The government's secrets had been exposed, and the world was beginning to wake up to the reality of extraterrestrial life. As for Sarah and Michael, they disappeared into obscurity, their names forever linked to the greatest scandal in government history. But they knew that they had done the right thing, and they knew that they had made a difference. And somewhere out there, among the stars, the Galactic Council watched and waited, their judgment final and their verdict clear. Humanity had failed the test, but there was still hope for the future. Months passed, and Sarah and Michael continued their lives in hiding. They were always looking over their shoulders, but they knew that they couldn't give up the fight. They had to keep the truth out there, no matter the cost. One day, while on the run in a small town, they heard rumors of strange sightings in the woods. Reports of lights in the sky and strange, unexplained phenomena. Sarah and Michael knew that they had to investigate. They ventured out into the woods, armed with only a camera and a recording device. As they walked deeper into the forest, the trees grew thicker and the air grew colder. They began to hear strange noises like whispers in the wind. Suddenly, they saw it. A strange, glowing object hovering in the sky. It seemed to be watching them, studying them. Without warning, the object shot a beam of light at Sarah and Michael. They were thrown back, their bodies racked with pain, and then they lost consciousness. They awakened in a strange room. They were lying on tables, surrounded by machines and strange instruments. And then they saw it. The alien, It was standing at the foot of their table, watching them with cold, emotionless eyes. "What do you want from us?" Sarah asked, trying to keep her voice steady. The aliens said nothing, but a voice spoke in their minds. "We have been watching you. We know what you have done, and we know that you have exposed the secrets of your government. We have been waiting for someone like you." Sarah and Michael were shocked. They had never heard of aliens communicating telepathically before. "We need your help," the voice continued. "Your planet is in danger. The forces of darkness are gathering, and they are coming for you. You must come with us to our world. We can teach you how to fight them. We can teach you how to win." Sarah and Michael looked at each other, then back at the alien. They knew that this was their chance to make a real difference, to fight for something greater than themselves. "We'll do it," Michael said. "We'll help you." The alien nodded, and suddenly everything went black. When Sarah and Michael came to, they were in a strange, futuristic city. The buildings were tall and sleek, and the streets were filled with strange alien creatures. They were led to a large building, where they met with a group of aliens who called themselves the Council of Light. They explained that they were a group of beings who had been watching Earth for centuries, waiting for the right time to intervene. They told Sarah and Michael that there were other, darker forces in the universe. Forces that sought to destroy life and spread chaos and destruction. These forces had set their sights on Earth, and the Council of Light needed their help to stop them. Over the course of several months, Sarah and Michael trained with the aliens, learning new skills and abilities. They learned how to use their minds to move objects, how to harness energy from the universe, and how to fight in ways that they had never thought possible. Finally, the day arrived, the day of the battle. Sarah and Michael suited up, ready to face the forces of darkness and protect their planet. The battle was fierce. It was like nothing they had ever experienced before. Strange alien creatures attacked from every angle, and the very fabric of reality seemed to warp and bend. But Sarah and Michael fought bravely. They used everything they had learned, every trick and skill that they had picked up in their training. They emerged victorious. The forces of darkness were defeated, banished back to wherever they had come from. The world was safe once again. Sarah and Michael returned to Earth as heroes. They were hailed by the people, their story now known to all. They had exposed the secrets of their government and had saved the world from destruction. But they knew that their fight wasn't over. As they had learned from the Council of Light, they should always remain vigilant of the darkness lurking just beneath the surface. And they were ready to fight it, no matter what the cost. For they knew that the truth was always worth fighting for. And they would continue to fight until the day when the darkness was finally vanquished and the light could shine freely once again. As they sat in their small apartment, looking out at the world they had fought so hard to protect, Sarah turned to Michael and said, "We did it. We really did it." Michael smiled back at her, "And we'll keep doing it. As long as there's a fight to be had, we'll be there." And they sat there, content in the knowledge that they had made a difference, that they had fought for what was right, and that they had won. But there were still secrets to be uncovered, secrets that were darker and more horrific than anything they had ever encountered before, and the fight was far from over.